Welcome to our program, Chai with Ambassador. This is aimed at reaching out to a cross-section of Croatian people to get their perspective on the situation in Croatia and to see how they can assist us in our programs of building relationship between India and Croatia at all levels. Today we are in the beautiful city of Makarska, which is fringed by the awesome Adriatic Sea on one side and the majestic Biokovo mountain range on the other. Makarska je moj najdraži grad u Hrvatskoj. And our guest is the charming mayor of Makarska, Jure Brkan. Dobrodošli u naš program.
Thank you, Your Excellency. On behalf of my town and myself, I welcome you in Makarska.
Jure, let me introduce you to Indian tea. As you know, tea is our national drink. We are the second largest producer of tea in the world, and most of our tea comes from the northeast part of India. I know that you have been doing a lot of work towards the socio-economic upliftment of the lives of the people of Makarska. There are several ongoing projects in place. What are your priorities for the city of Makarska that you are so proud of, that you are so committed to developing?
So we have a lot of infrastructure problems, such as parking, roads, water supply, electric supplies, and etc. So our priority is, at least in the first half of our term, is to fix those problems as much as possible. So in these last 10 months we prioritize everything that regards infrastructural development of Makarska. That's something that we are working, and now we are working more intense than ever because the tourist season is coming now on our door. Already since the Easter, the first guests will be in our hotels, so we must be prepared for the high season that starts at June.
I know, Jure, that your growth depends a lot on your tourism sector. In whole of Croatia, almost 20% of tourism contributes to the GDP. And you had 18, yes, and you had 18 million tourists coming to Croatia last year, which almost generated 12 billion euros.
Yeah.
So, what are your plans for increasing this number of tourists coming to Makarska?
From this 18 million, 350,000 come to Makarska, and they are making 1,500,000 overnights. So we must make this tourism growth sustainable.
Yeah.
So with the increasing number of incoming tourists, we must be assured that everything else follows this trend. So on our side, as a mayor and a city, leader, is to make sure that everything infrastructurally works and it has enough capacity for to accommodate all our guests. On the other side, we also expect support from the central government regarding security of our tourists, regarding normal procedures that are being conducted with these tourists. But on our local level, our priority is to make sure that we can accommodate all those guests.
Jure, you touched upon a very important point, support from the central government.
Always.
And a lot of mayors throughout Croatia have been making this point. Yeah. In your view, are you getting adequate support from the central government in Zagreb for your projects in Makarska?
We communicate really good with how to say this in English, with the resort ministers.
Yes.
Especially for our maybe most important is the Minister of Tourism, Mr. Gari Capelli. We are working, we are having very good connections. We also do it with all the other, maybe one, let's say this, it's not a problem, but it's an issue that we need maybe more to communicate, and that's the issue regarding the health security in our town. That regarding the hospital that we have in Makarska, it is, I don't want to say it is in a bad shape, but it has been neglected for the last 10 years. And now we are expecting support for the Minister of the Health, Mr. Milan Kujundžić, to give us this support to restore this hospital at least as it was once. But we are all of course, hoping that it will be even better than it was before.
Sve najbolje.
Thank you.
You said that you had other issues as well, which are very important. I hope building relationship with other countries like India is a priority for you as well. we are very pleased to bring the Indian Days of Culture to Makarska for a week, which started yesterday. We had the plantation of the tree for peace. We bring peace to Makarska, to Croatia, to the world. We had the exhibition on Mahatma Gandhi, the father of Indian nation, who represents peace and non-violence. We had the screening of the film. Today we have several events planned for yoga, for Ayurveda, for Himalayas presentation, and very importantly, Indian cuisine, which is getting increasingly popular in Croatia and hopefully in Makarska. I thank you for your collaboration. I must salute your pragmatism and your initiative in driving these projects forward. What are your impressions so far about our India Days in Makarska?
When we first met in July, I believe it was, I saw from them till now, and I'm now convinced that you are really sincere man that working in the interest of his own country and also working on the way to make your country, how to say this, well connected with the other countries.
India i Hrvatska, India i Makarska, naprijed zajedno.
Exactly, and I saw this that is your sincere conviction and that you are really working really hard. Of course, from my side, it will be really rude if I wouldn't do the same thing.
Yeah.
So we really want to make this connection really good, cooperation in all the varieties of cooperation. We started with this Indian week in Makarska. For me it was excellent the first days. We planted the tree of friendship.
Yeah.
I tasted this Indian cuisine, which is excellent. And now this whole week is actually screenings from the Indian films.
Yeah.
We are talking now in the March. It's not the start of the season. So all of this that you have bring us to Makarska is for our local community. So I will try that our local community recognize it. I believe it will recognize it, and I believe that this cooperation will last for a long time.
Hvala lijepo,
Maybe, how to say, the start of a beautiful friendship.
Yes, which we should institutionalize.
Yeah.
And Jure, in all this that we do, economic element is the most important part for both our countries, for both our regions. Do you have any specific proposals that I could share with the Indian industry to encourage them to participate in Makarska's development?
Of course. As I told you before, and you mentioned also yourself, Makarska is a tourist town. We live in Croatia, it's 20% of GDP. In Makarska, I believe it's 100%. So we live from the tourism. Our main development, major development projects are based on the tourism. So we have a couple of them. First of all is making the cable car that will connect Makarska, how to say this, Makarska seafront to the peak washouts on mountain of Birko. So from 0 altitude to 1,500 meters. That's one project that we are working on it, and we are actually expecting to see some investors in it, probably even from India. The second, our major project is planning in building the sport facilities. So in the winter time we can accommodate the sports group for their trainings and preparations.
Like skiing?
Not skiing, I'm actually thinking more about football.
Oh.
So only now we have only one football ground with the grass football ground. That's not enough to accommodate couple of professional football teams for doing their preparation. And now we are building this project of developing 6 football fields. Maybe also we will find some Indian investor interested in it. That's some of the projects that we are really pushing to finish. And I hope that somebody from India will be interested too.
If you have any specific proposals, I would be happy to pass them on to our Apex Chambers of Economy and see what could be the response. And I promise you I will make my best efforts.
And I promise when we make it on official, you will get it also.
And at the same time, I will also keep your industry informed about the socio-economic developments in India, about our Make in India program, about smart cities, Digital India, which is very important for both our regions, and encourage them to also look at the Indian market, which is 1.2 billion strong market.
Huge.
It's huge. So the opportunities are big, and although our countries are different in sizes of the economy, in business culture, in geography, but there are certain complementarities that we should work on,
Yeah.
and we are equal partners.
Of course, and I believe that we're gonna do so. We are especially pleased with this offer that you have given to us, the education from of a professionals,
Yes.
additional education in India.
Skills development.
Skills development. That's something that we are really gonna look, and we are find some suitable candidate to send you in India. And I believe that he will be good, how to say, representative from
Yeah.
Makarska, and I believe that he will also bring back lots of good connections and good experiences from
Yeah,
it.
he or she can be
He or
our
she, I
best
mean, yeah.
ambassador in Makarska.
Yeah.
Well, having trained in India, having developed those linkages and networking skills,
And
we would be
return
happy
home
to.
implement
And
to
we are-
implement it in his own business. Yeah.
Absolutely, and we have also developed India Alumni Association,
Yeah.
comprising of all the people who have
went on this
who've
course.
gone to India to study or to do training, and we would be happy to include somebody from Makarska as well.
We are looking really to find some representative to send to India.
No, thank
And
you
we
very
will find it.
Thank you very much.
No
And
problem.
as you know, that last year we had International Day of Yoga, which we celebrated in 25 cities across Croatia. Makarska was one of the cities. We had beautiful pictures. We had a huge interest from the Makarska populace to embark on this extraordinary journey. We took out some beautiful calendars covering all the cities of Croatia, which we shared with all our missions abroad, which received a lot of publicity. We hope we can get the same support for this year as well.
I saw the program from the last year. I saw the calendar. It was beautiful, and of course, the Makarska will be more than glad to be your host even this summer on this program.
Jure, what are your interests outside politics?
My interest outside the politics, my family for
Yes.
first, yeah. And normally I'm coming from a tourist business, so I'm always interested in what are the trends in the tourist business, especially in our, how to say it, especially in the ways that affect on our local destination.
Are you a sports person? Are you an artist?
No.
Do you play any instrument?
No, of course I was as a younger playing the accordion,
Uh-huh.
yeah, but
Now no time.
A long time ago, yeah.
And now you don't have so much time.
No, I don't do it because only, how to say, if you ask me what are my hobbies are,
Yeah.
I have olive gardens, so
Uh-huh.
that's something when I have some free time, my escape to the olives, and that's something that makes me satisfied.
And Jure, you are only 39 years old. You represent the youth of Croatia, like so many other mayors throughout Croatia. Young, dynamic, pragmatic. How do you feel taking over the mantle of becoming a mayor at this age? Is it an overwhelming task, or do you think you can bring a lot of energy to it?
Actually, I don't think that's so young age.
Okay.
As you said it now,
That's right.
it's maybe just the next step, how to say that, change of the generation that happened in the Croatian political
Yes.
scenery. And I believe it's a natural. And now when I look at, I'm not the youngest mayor of Makarska, there
No.
was even younger
Yeah.
before me, so it didn't happen.
It's a progression.
It's a progression, normal, natural progression. In a couple of years I will be old.
And lastly, Jure, what message do you have for the diplomatic community in Croatia?
All the diplomatic community.
Yes.
Of course, I believe that you are my witness that we have good cooperation. We are trying to be good host for you.
Yeah.
And I also welcome all the diplomatic community in Croatia to come to visit Makarska. I promise that at least we will be good hosts, good in Croatian domaćini.
Yes.
So I believe they will find here honest people, friendly people who wants to make connection, who wants to, how to say this, broaden their views
Yeah.
regarding all the rest of the world. So I invite them, come here, try Makarska, and I believe that it will be good impact on them too.
Yeah, and we will not be disappointed.
I hope they will not be.
We will
disappointed.
build understanding, we will build relationship, and we will try to bring economic benefit to the people of all our countries.
That's our job for us and for them too.
Hvala lijepo, Juro.
Thank you very much.
It was a great pleasure to have you.